Harvey Milk, a gay rights movement leader by Zach Babers, Gideon Garrett, and Lydia Vincent Masters. Harvey Milk was born in Woodmere, New York. As a kid, his Jewish family was middle class. He went to Bayshore High School, where he played basketball and football. He also participated in opera. Then after high school, he went to New York State College for Teachers, where he studied to be a math teacher. After he earned his degree, he joined the Navy. When he came back from the Navy, he became a teacher in New York. Then around that time, he met one of his lovers, Joe Campbell. Later, he moved to California when he started dating Jack Gallen McKinley, because McKinley was working on the musical Hair. Later, when Milk was working at Bank of America, President Nixon started the invasion of Cambodia, which caused Milk to burn his Bank of America card out of protest. He was then fired. He then moved back to New York, where he met his next boyfriend, Scott Smith. In New York, they opened a camera store named Castro Camera. Later, Milk and Smith decided to return to San Francisco, where Milk ran for the City Board of Supervisors. He planned to use the gay community as a start for his campaign. Using the base, he planned to make an alliance with other minorities in the city. In 1977, Milk was finally elected to the Board of Supervisors after 2 attempts. He then became the first openly gay elected official. George Moscow assigned Milk to the Board of Permanent Appeals. After a few weeks, Milk announced a change to state assembly. Because of this announcement, he was removed from his position from the Board of Supervisors. Milk's campaign consisted of multiple important themes that both positively and negatively affected the small time he was city official and his campaign success. On November 27, 1978, Mayor Moscow and Milk were both tragically shot to death in their office by a man named Dan White, Milk's former co-worker. White quit his job to protest gay rights and was enraged that Milk was on the board. He went to City Hall and shot Milk, then shot Mayor Moscow. In court, White's lawyers said that he committed the crime because of an overpowering addiction to junk food like Twinkies, which later became known as the Twinkie defense. He claimed that sweets caused him to go slightly insane. He pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter, which meant he would get a small sentence despite murdering 2 men. He was sentenced to 5 years. As soon as White was released from prison on October 21, 1985, he committed suicide. 6 years before White's suicide, the Night White riots took place. The White Night riots were riots to express anger towards the short and unfair sentence given to Dan White. The White Night riots ended in arrest, theft, injury, and destruction. After the riot, the group of Milk supporters were done being violent and decided to take a different approach. They went to Castro Street with candles at night, lit them, and started a march. It was silent except for occasional whispers and sobs. There was no wind and no traffic, and it was so silent it was deafening. The tragedy of Harvey Milk's death was horrible for the LGBTQ+ community, but the triumph is that his legacy has affected many, many people and has brought more acceptance to us all.